Picture this. Something unexpected hits. Maybe your car breaks down. Maybe you lose a client. Maybe a medical bill shows up out of nowhere. And instead of handling it calmly, your stomach drops. Because you open your banking app and realize you don't have the money to cover it. So you put it on a credit card. Or you borrow from someone. Or you just stress about it for weeks. And the worst part? It wasn't even that expensive. It was $800. Maybe $1,200. And it completely derailed you. If that scenario sounds familiar, you're not alone. Because according to the Federal Reserve, nearly 40% of Americans can't cover a $400 emergency without borrowing money. $400, that's not a crisis, that's a Tuesday. And yet, almost half the country isn't prepared for it. My name is Jack, and I spend way too much time thinking about how to build real financial stability. If you're someone who wants to stop living one unexpected expense away from panic, hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if it helps. Here's the thing. Most people treat an emergency fund like a far-off goal. Something they'll get to eventually. After they pay off debt, after they get a raise, after things calm down a little. But here's what most people don't realize. Waiting for the perfect moment is exactly why most people never build one. So let's fix that. Because $10,000 sounds like a lot. But it doesn't have to take as long as you think. Why $10,000? First, let's talk about the number. Financial experts typically recommend 3 to 6 months of living expenses in an emergency fund. For most people, that lands somewhere between $8,000 and $15,000. So $10,000 is a realistic, meaningful target. Enough to cover a job loss, enough to handle a medical emergency, enough to stop living in constant financial anxiety. But here's where most people go wrong. They treat $10,000 like one giant goal. And when something feels that big, your brain does something predictable. It shuts down. It feels impossible. So you do nothing. The fix is simple. Stop thinking about $10,000. Start thinking about $27 per day. The math most people never run. Here's what $10,000 actually looks like broken down. $10,000 in 12 months equals $834 per month. That's aggressive for most people. But $10,000 in 18 months, that's $556 per month. $10,000 in 24 months, that's $417 per month. Less than $14 per day. And this is where it gets really interesting because most people are already spending money in places they don't even notice. The daily coffee, the unused subscriptions, the $18 delivery fee on a $12 meal. Small spending that feels harmless because it happens in tiny amounts, but those tiny amounts add up to hundreds of dollars per month, which is exactly what your emergency fund needs. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Jack, but I've already tried cutting back. It never sticks. And honestly, I hear that, but the problem usually isn't willpower, it's structure. The system that actually works. Here's the approach that makes building an emergency fund feel almost automatic. Step 1. Open a separate savings account, not the one connected to your checking account. A completely separate account, ideally at a different bank. Out of sight, out of mind. Because if your emergency fund is one tap away, it stops feeling like an emergency fund and starts feeling like spending money. Step 2. Automate the transfer. Set it up so that every single payday, a fixed amount moves directly into that account before you see it, before you can spend it. You don't make the decision every month, the system makes it for you. Step 3. Start smaller than you think. If $400 per month feels impossible, start with $100. $100 per month is $1,200 per year. That's not $10,000, but it's a foundation because starting matters more than the amount. Once you see that account growing, something shifts. You start protecting it. You start finding ways to add more. Step 4. Treat windfalls as fuel, tax refund, work bonus, birthday money. Instead of spending it, a chunk goes straight to the emergency fund. One good tax refund could cut your timeline in half. The goal isn't just money, it's a feeling. Specifically, it's a feeling of control. Financial stress isn't just about numbers, it's about uncertainty. Think about it like a safety net under a tightrope. You walk differently when the net is there. You take smarter risks, you make clearer decisions, you stop making desperate choices out of panic. A friend of mine spent 3 years saying she'd start her emergency fund after her credit card was paid off. One unexpected car repair later, she put $900 on that same card. Setting her back even further, she finally started the separate account. Automated $200 per month, and 14 months later, she had over $3,000 saved for the first time in her adult life. She said it was the first time in years she didn't feel like she was one bad day away from disaster. That feeling is available to you too, but it starts with a decision made today. Open a separate account. Automate a fixed transfer every payday. Start smaller than feels significant, and add windfalls whenever they appear. $10,000 is not as far away as it feels. It's a system, and systems beat motivation every single time. If this video helped you, hit the like button, because on this channel, we're not chasing get-rich-quick strategies. We're building the kind of financial foundation